G'day, welcome back to another episode of Casting Call. We're about a week away from cod opening 2024. Very excited, it's been a while since we've been out in the river to chase some cod, so pretty keen to get out there and see if we can find some. The idea of this video is just going to go over the lures that I'm looking to use this season. I will use other lures outside this season, just sort of the main ones are taking the tackle box. Read a few goals that I've set myself, a few lures that I haven't caught cod on that I want to try and catch fish on. Obviously we're still chasing that metre cod, so hopefully we can crack him this season. I say that every season. Last year we definitely gave it a bit more of a crack going up to this big Garuda, throwing bigger lures around and getting a few less bites. We did get some bigger fish, but we didn't quite crack the metre. But anyway, we'll just go through some of this stuff. Got a few announcements to make and some new gear also that I've been sent to try out, so that'll be good to go through that. Alright, so first thing, let's just run through the lures that we've got here. We've sort of got spinnerbaits over here, bib lures, surface lures, a few soft plastics here, some swim baits and glide baits here. So I'll just run through a few of the brands, what I like to use. So start over this side of the table, we've got spinnerbaits. It's the Bassman Quad Spin. This is a go-to lure when the fishing's quiet or the water's dirty. Big bright orange blades lets off a lot of vibration, a lot of pulse. When the fish are shut down, you can often get a bite with this, and with them blades catching so much water, it sort of forces you to slow down your retrieve, which when it's a tough bite, the slower you go, the better. So we got that. Got a little chatterbait here. I think it's an Ozspin chatterbait. I like that lure, it lets out a lot of vibration too, and it's a tough bite. I got myself a Spinrite spinnerbait here, just with one blade. I'll give that a go. Also, a little Bassman pink and purple thing here, that'll be good when the bite's quiet. I've also got myself a Spinrite swim jig. It's not out of the packet yet, but give that a go at some stage, hopefully get some fish on that. I don't really like using spinnerbaits. I use them when the fishing's tough. Normally you've got to fish them pretty slow. I like to fish fast, especially in a kayak when you're drifting with the river. You've only got a certain amount of time to cast at each snag. I'm normally sitting out in the middle of the river drifting quite fast, and you don't have to be on the pedals all the time trying to hold yourself in the current. So I like lures I can fish fast. Spinnerbaits aren't that, so I try to avoid using them, but they're definitely what I go to when there's a tough bite. I'll use one of them. There's a couple other ones there. The next things we got here, sort of vibe lures. Got myself a Jackall TN80. I think that'll be pretty good when the bite's pretty tough as well. It'll be hard to use in the river because of how snag prone it is, but I think it'll get me some bites when the fishing's tough. Got another one here, the Jackall Dozer. Yeah, I've caught a few cod on them. They're really good. They let out a lot of noise, and they're just a bite-sized lure for a cod. Like perfect, really. They match the hatch. There's a couple of these. I have used these a couple of times on the previous videos. They're called an Engreedy, I think. Or yeah, they're by Hide Up. They're called an Engreedy. They're a floating vibe lure. As you crank them, they swim down into the water. They're a pretty cool thing. You can put a weight on them so they sink, but they let out a lot of vibration, and I've used them only a couple of times with pretty good success. Yeah, so I'll probably be giving them a go as well. Them sort of lures will be good when the fishing's pretty active. I think you'll get good numbers on them. Then we go into the bib lures here. We've got quite a lot of bib lures, all of these. Some of them I use a lot, other ones I just have in the tackle box, and yeah, don't use that often. The rivers where I'm fishing, it's sort of averaging probably 2 meters deep, sort of 2 to 4 meters. So a lot of the bib lures I like to use will have a 4 meter bib on them. That allows you to get it out and you can crank them down into that 2 meters pretty quickly. I also like them that any bib lure that is good at crashing off the timber and not getting snagged. So good example of that is this Cutter Fura Mud Honey 100 mil. used that on a lot of videos with a lot of success. It's also a timber lure, which I like. Timber lures aren't silent, but they don't make as much noise. They're a bit more natural. They've got a different buoyancy. And this, especially this Cutter Fury, it's got a massive wide action, which is really good. It holds depth well and rides over timber good. Another timber lure here that I've got, I'm pretty excited about using. It's Macquarie Timber Lures. I think he's a local bloke in Dubbo. Picked this up from Outback Angler, and groovy looking bait, big wide action, will move a lot of water, and it should hold its depth really well. So looking forward to getting a few of them, a few cod on the Macquarie Timber Lure hopefully. We've got another Cutter Fury lure there. Got a Coolabung, don't know what that is, it'll be 130 or 40 mils. Hopefully throw that around a bit, it's a bit bigger lure. I've caught a few cod on that before. When I get a fish on this, it's Cod Dog lure. I've used it on a tough bite, but it moves a lot of water. It's quite nice to use. Does drag a bit of water, you got to move it quite slowly, but that's alright. I've caught a lot of cod on these in previous videos. It's the Big M4 by Megabass. They're a dynamite lure, they cast unbelievable. They've got the ball bearings in there that when you cast, you just cast them a mile, very accurate. They get down, they don't really crash drive, but they get down pretty quick, but they're really easy to retrieve. They don't catch a lot of water, so it's nearly like using a swim bait. You can't feel that drag that you get with like a traditional bib lure, like one of these. You know, your rod tip's really dragging, but the Big M4s, you get very little drag. You can work them quite fast if you're in the kayak and you're sort of peppering snags and you're moving fast through the water. These are dynamite lure because you can drag them in through the timber quite fast, quick retrieves, and fish them really actively. So I really like using these. They've got me a lot of success. I've got Depths of Oak 4, which is very similar. It's just a different profile, chubby, fat little thing. But they cast like a bullet too. They're really heavy lure. Get down to 4 meters. They got that little square bill bib on them. They're a great lure to use as well. The next one we've got is down the front here. We've got some surface lures. Now, as you'd see on my previous videos, the main surface lure I use is this Coolabung Cod Cracker. I think it's 130 or 40 mils. I love this lure. It just has a neat noise to it. It's easy to cast, it's easy to retrieve. You can fish it fast, which is good. Like I say, when I'm drifting fast, you can chuck it in, you can retrieve it quite fast, and I've had a lot of success on this lure, so I will be using that a lot. But there's a few other surface lures here that I really want to get some fish on this season. So yeah, I'm not actually sure what this is. I know it's a jackal lure, I'm pretty sure this thing, but I can't remember what they're called. Someone might be able to drop that in the comments. It's got the propeller on the back, bib on the front. It just sort of snakes across the top of the water like this, and the propeller chops away. I haven't thrown this a lot. I've thrown it a little bit without any success, but I know it'll work if I just throw it enough. We've got a couple of big paddlers here. We've got the Ballista Tremor or the Cod Dog big surface lure here. Hoping to get a big cod on one of those. I'll throw them around. It's a bit of a task throwing these big lures around, but if you commit to it, hopefully I can get the big bite. Got the Jackal Pompadour. It's a bit of an old favourite. Everyone's got a Pompadour or used a Pompadour. They just work. They make a lot of noise, a lot of racket. I have missed a lot of fish on them. I've missed a lot of hookups, but they definitely get the bites. The next ones I used a little bit last season. It's the River to Sea Whopper Plopper. This is the big one, 190 mil. Hopefully throw it around a bit and hopefully get a big bite on that. And we'll probably throw this smaller one. See, it's 130 mil. It's more the size if you're looking for a few bites. Hopefully we throw this around and get some bites on it. They make such a cool noise coming across the top of the water. There's something to fish here, haven't seen a lot of, so hopefully get some reaction bites to that. We've got a big thirsty wake snake here. I've got a few wake snakes in the cupboard behind me here, but hopefully try and get a cod on a wake snake this season. They're a bit the same. They're very slow to work through the water. They catch a lot of water, so they're hard to fish fast, which is what I like to do, but try and commit to hopefully getting a cod on these. I think that's, oh, and we've got a few surface frogs here. The River to Sea, Spitnoir, it's a Megabass, whatever they are. A couple of weedless surface frogs. I've also just been sent this, it's called a Scamper Frog by Jabbers Australia. The boys have sent this out to try out, so give that a go. It looks really cool in the videos I've seen of it. Just got a double treble, welded double treble on the back in the skirt there. Just comes on across the top of the water, sort of jiggling and wiggling about. So I'll give that a go definitely, especially when we get the heat of the day. If I can find some shade pockets, throw those weedless ones in. I think the Scamper Frog will make enough racket to use in them low light periods. I think it'll get some bites. It's a really unique and cool looking lure as well. So I look forward to throwing that around. I missed the, I've also got a Jabbers, I think they're called Antigon. It's a 4 metre bibbler as well. It's a bit smaller profile than these other ones, so be good for getting numbers. Pretty cool looking lure. Got a bit of weight in it, so I should be able to cast some of bigger rods. These Jabbers boys make some really good trebles too, so I haven't actually got this one out of the pack, but I know the trebles are going to be good enough when I get it out, which will be good. So yeah, hopefully we can get something on a surface frog. Went through them surface lures. Now we get over here to the swim bait. So I've got, I haven't used this a lot. My cousin made me this. It's a resin swim bait. It's got the coolest action in the water. I've been too scared to lose it. That's why I haven't used it much. You have to you move it quite slow, but it just dances around the water. So I really want to get a cod on this lure. So I can send my cousin a photo and say it works. So you should hopefully see a bit of this one getting used. Then we've got our jackals, the Chibotril, the Gantrel, always in the box because they just get bites. They're quite snag prone, but if you can just work them over top of any timber slowly, they just get bites. I normally will put a chin weight on both of them if I use them, just to get them down a little bit quicker. Because I'm moving fast, I don't have time to work them really slow, but put a chin weight on, slow wind, don't have to do anything fancy. They get bites, they get really quality fish all the time. A few other swim baits here. We've got the Mike Bucher Bull Shad. Got a couple of fish on this thing. I wouldn't say it has the best action, but it seems to get the fish. The other bull shad I've got is the 4x4. You would have seen a lot of this lure in my previous videos, and you will see a lot of it this season because it's probably my favourite lure. It's got a really good action, just doesn't get snagged. It doesn't matter where you throw it, it will not get snagged. And it just gets a lot of bites and a lot of quality fish. So you'll see a lot of the 4x4, as always. I love this lure. And we got a couple more that are like that. They're a swim bait with this square bill bib on them, which just makes them so snag resistant. So we've got, this is a Depths Bulldozer, I think it's called. It's the same thing. It's got the square bill on the front. It's probably a little bit more snag prone. The hooks hang a little bit lower than the bib, but it's just a different profile. Like, that doesn't look like a carp. I don't know what does. That is what the cod are eating in the systems I fish. It's all carp. There's no redfin or anything in there, so expect to see a bit of this fella getting thrown around. Caught one on him last season. It's really cool bait. And then, yeah, if you start chasing the big girls again, you'll see a lot of the Megabass Garuda. 270mm bait, but you won't see a lure that looks better in the water. It looks unbelievable. It's got the square bib on it again, so it's snag resistant. You do need a big heavy rod to throw it. You'll be pretty committed. It's pretty hard work throwing it all day, especially in the river, sitting down in a kayak, but it does get the big bites, so you'll see a lot of that as the season goes on. Another lure here that I've got is a glide bait. I've seen a fair bit of stuff about people getting cod on glide baits. I'd love to be able to catch a cod on this season. I've used it a couple of times in the river, but not for very long. Just don't have the confidence in it. So hopefully we can throw this one around a bit, get some bites on it. Yeah, be pretty visual bite, so we can get something to come up and crunch a glide bait too. What else have we got here? We've nearly got through them all. Then we've got the plastics, which I use a lot. Once it cools down a bit and the fishing's a bit less active. Got myself a couple of cast prodigies. We've got the 8-inch prodigies here. This is a 6-inch one. Haven't used them a lot yet. Are different to the other ones I used. They've got a massive square tail, which is what excites me about them. They should sink slowly. That's a lot of wiggle in that tail. So that hook I've got on that one's probably a bit big for that lure, but I like a big hook, so you've got more chance of hooking up the fish. The thing with the plastics is says I'm really I use them a lot again. I miss a lot of fish, as you would have seen. This one's a 7-inch Diesel Minnow by Z-Man. I like them. They're soft, they're stretchy. I've caught some good fish on them too. I really want to try and work out a way to get a better hookup rate. I don't know if it's striking later once the fish has the lure in its mouth and it's turned the other way so I can get a better hook, or is to try and strike earlier and harder. It is really hard in the kayak because as you strike, I've got my drag always locked, but as you strike, it'll rip the kayak towards the fish. So it's really hard to get that good hook set when you're down low on the water in a kayak with these soft plastics. But they definitely get, while you miss a lot of bites, they definitely get a lot more bites. You can be throwing any of these other lures around, especially the surface lures, but you can have a bib lure, throw it around for hours without a bite. Chuck a plastic on and you get a bite all of a sudden, even if you're not hooking it up. So you'll see a lot of them again. Got a few different ones. As I said, there's the Z-Man Diesel Minnow, 7 inches, the size I like to use. There's the cast prodigies. I've got the 6 and the 8. Probably use the 8 when I'm going for the bigger fish. And probably my favourite one to use at the moment is the Diver Bait Junkie. I think they're 6.2. They're really good. They just got a good action. They're easy to rig up. They're simple to use. They're cheap. They're good. So you see a bit of that again. I'm normally throwing them on a 10-0 beast hook. And I've got a few of the flashy swimmers as well. I still don't know which flashy or not. I don't know. The beast hook, I like to use 1/2 ounce, and then sometimes if I've got the flashy swimmers in the bag, I'll use them. Yeah, so that's the lures that you'll mainly see in the box that I'll mainly be using. There are a few more in the cupboard there, which no doubt throughout the season I'll pull out. Hopefully I'll get some more lures. I really love using these timber diving lures. Yeah, if there's any home timber lures, homemade timber lures that you want to see on the channel, get in touch with me. I'd love to try them out. Just Aussie made timber lures are pretty cool to use, and bib lures are just perfect in the river where I fish because there's so much timber. Yeah, we'll probably be using 60 pound leader as always. I might flirt with going lighter just to get a bit better action, especially when I'm using the plastics. If I go a lighter leader, I might get a bit better swimming action out of the plastics or anything with a lighter presentation. I used to have 40, I got busted off a few times, so I've gone up to 60. I haven't been busted off while using 60, but whether that's getting me less bites, I don't know. We might trial that sort of stuff out as we go through the season. I'm hoping to do a few more overnight trips. Yeah, our third child's 1 now, so hopefully I can get away from home a little bit more, do some more overnight drifts. They are a lot better, you get more prime bite windows, so hopefully you see a few more overnight camping trips drifting along the river. Be really good. I've got the sleeping bag and tent and all that stuff recently, so it'd be good to get out and try them out. Hopefully we're going to kick off, get a bit more social media going, hopefully make Facebook page or whatever, just so people can get in touch. I love talking to people about fishing. It's definitely my passion, so hopefully we can do that. People can send us messages if they've got any questions or ideas, or even if you can teach me something, send it in. If you can tell me how to hook stuff better on a plastic, would be awesome. Yeah, and the goal this season is to get up to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're a bit over halfway there. Hopefully we're going to have some hats and maybe some fishing shirts, so we'll get to 1,000 subs. We'll do a bit of a giveaway. Yeah, hopefully keep growing this thing. We're good fun. I love fishing, so yeah, and it's easy enough to video it while I'm going down the river. And a couple of other things we've got, the rods, I'll just go through the rods that we've got. They're all here. Alright, so just go through the rods that I'll be using. We've got the Miller Rod Beast Freak. It's the rod I use for throwing the big lures, like the Garuda, any of those big wake baits, anything that's big and heavy, probably the big plastics. I'll probably be using the Miller Beast Freak. It is like a big broomstick. It is very powerful. It makes throwing those big lures really easy. It's very long and hard to use in the kayak, but it makes throwing the big lures easy. So we'll be using that a bit, as hard as it is and not that enjoyable. The other rod, it's the old staple, the Miller Cod Freak. I love this rod. It just fits in the hand perfectly. It's matched up with a Daiwa Tatula 200. Perfect for the river. Really good. I can throw really accurate casts with this rod. It's perfect size for the river. It's got a lot of backbone, a lot of power. But it's soft enough in the tip that I can throw really accurate casts. So, yep, that'll be probably the main one. And been sent this little number, or helped into getting this one. The boys at Jabbers Australia. It's a Snake Charmer double tap. It's 7'2", line 20 to 40 pound, but it's a travel rod. So we'll do a bit of a breakdown of this thing. It's a really nice feeling rod in the hand, very high quality, tiny little micro guides, but it does this. Breaks down into 5 pieces. I've heard a bit about this Jabbers stuff on some podcasts that I listened to. People were ranting and raving about it. I thought I'll get onto the boys at Jabbers Australia, have a yarn to them. They're awesome boys to deal with. I said I'd be keen to try out some of your gear, so we talked about what would suit best. We landed on this, so I got myself one of these. It's a Jabbers Snake Charmer. It's a 5-piece travel rod, but it feels really high quality, so we're pretty keen to get out and just see how it compares with the 2 Miller rods I've got, which are really high-end rods. They're really nice rods. Yeah, so excited to compare these. This thing's awesome. It folds down 5 pieces. Comes with this really high-quality case. You fit it in there. And this model I've got actually comes with 2 different tips. There's the shock absorber and the skull dragger. One tip, I think the skull drag is just a bit faster action tip. So yeah, we'll give this a go when we get out there chasing cod and see how it goes. It's a little bit heavier than the Cod Freak, and longer. Definitely a bit longer than the Cod Freak. Feels a little bit stiffer in hand, which hopefully means I can throw some bigger lures on it, which means I might not have to take the Beast Freak. I might be able to use this slightly shorter rod. Yeah, very keen to get out and give this thing a swim. Yeah, but check them out. Jabbers Australia, the boys there, Nathan and Brad are awesome to deal with. They have plenty of time for you. They're a really nice looking rod, tiny little micro guides. I mean, see that they're tiny. I have to make sure my FG knots are up to scratch, but that should mean that it's really nice for casting. Like I say, I've thrown a few casts around on the lawn. They do feel very nice. So yeah, you'll see this one in most of the videos. I'll try and use it. It would match up well with a 200 Tatula on it. I've got my 300 Tatula on it I normally have on the Beast Freak, so probably swap between the 2 and 300 with these 2 rods. Yeah, super cool rod, cool idea to have it as a travel rod. You don't have your big bulky rods sitting in the front seat of the ute. And the cool thing is, if you break a section of any of these rods, you can just buy that section to replace it. So if you jam your tip in the door or whatever, you can just buy the new tip section. You don't have to buy a whole new rod. So yeah, you'll see a bit of these and yeah, a bit of the other gear that they've sent me to try out. A really innovative brand, so we'll see how that goes. It'll be good. So that's pretty well all the lures that I take. There's probably 10 lures here that I don't take in the box with me every time. I've just got a big Plano box. I'll fill that as full as I can get it, and it is full. It's overflowing. It's hard to do the lid up by the time you get the lures in there. Then I've just got another smaller Tupperware container that I put the plastics, the weedless hooks in. There's a few sinkers, like chin weight sinkers, and what else goes in there? A few skirts for the spinner baits, just a bit of other stuff, but the plastics go in that other box. So it's a lot of lures to take every time you fish, especially in a kayak, but I like to have options for when the fish aren't biting, you need to change it up and see if you can convince them to bite. So I'd get most of these into this box, which is probably a bit overkill, but that's what I do. What else have we got? I think that's about it. Yeah, the other thing I might try and do this season is I know I fish, I've just been saying I move fast through water, I fish really fast because you're drifting off a log so fast and you want to get 3 or 4 casts, a couple into the good spot, couple on the backside, couple off the tip. You sort of work that first bit fast and then bang, 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 the short cast getting in out. But just from watching some videos of people that have live scope, I can definitely see the benefit in slowing down your retrieve, working the water a bit slower, because if you watch them live scopes videos, the cod will they'll follow the lure for a fair way, they'll get up underneath it and sort of attack it coming from the front. So I can see the benefit in slowing down my retrieve, giving the fish a bit more time to get into position to eat the lure. So yeah, I'll probably try and do that a bit through the season too, try and slow my retrieve down in the zone a bit longer, just see if I can get some better bites, some bigger bites and some more bites hopefully. Yeah, and other than that, we'll try and improve the quality of the videos hopefully as we go. This is just a hobby, bit of a passion really. I'm a full-time farmer and I go fishing when I can, so try and improve the quality of the videos as we can, and hopefully get in touch, reach out. I love to talk fishing with anyone, so look forward to the cod season opening up. We'll go out and get into a few hopefully. Righto, thanks for watching the pre-cod opening 2024 review on the lures, the rods. During the season I will do a run through of my kayak. I do a bit of a breakdown of the pros and cons of my kayak. It's obviously a very nice kayak, but it does have its cons as well. Do a bit of breakdown and run through of all the gear that I take in the kayak with me later in the season. Probably one of them days when the fishing's a bit quiet. Anyway, let us know what you think. Get in touch and tight lines to you. Thank you.